Hey, good people, this is Arthur Toole. I am your host of the Restart podcast, and this is the Uncensored season. So in the Uncensored season, what I'm doing is I'm sharing with you all the things that I've learned just through trial and error and what I've learned from other people. So instead of you having to go through the next 5-10 years trying to experience if this is the right path, if this is not, should I try it this way or not, we share our experiences so that you can skip some of the hardships. Now, some hardships you're going to have. I don't believe that you can avoid all hardships, and I don't even think it's good for you to avoid all hardships. It is through those enduring those hardships and overcoming those hardships that you become successful and you become stronger. It's like when you go to the gym, right? And you using weights. I don't care if you're benching 500 pounds or benching 5 pounds, right? You're doing it at your level, but what benching is doing, or using the dumbbells is doing, or using the machines are doing, is that they're tearing and breaking down your muscles, right? And it's in the repairing of those and the healing of those that they become stronger, and thus you become stronger. You can't skip that process. And just like you can't skip that process in working out, you can't skip that process in its entirety in business. But because you're here, some of those you will not have to experience for yourselves. So let's get right into it, okay? Here's the thing. You guys know by now, if you follow me enough, that I follow Michael Lee Chin, the Jamaican billionaire, right, who was into investing. So he made a comment years and years ago, it's about 10 years ago now. And when he said it, I didn't necessarily believe him, right? But when I looked up, after I made the first $1 million via SIFT Institute, I realized that he was right. And then when I looked at other people, I realized that again, he was right. And so what was that nugget of wisdom that he provided? Is that it's going to take you 5 years to get to that place called success. And so what I mean by success, get to that place to where your business is taking off and living in such a fashion that is taking care of you. Now, here's the thing. I know when you look at your, social media platforms, it looks like that's not the case, because now you got everybody popping up with a course or with a new program with and all this, and it looks like it was overnight. I created a course on Monday. I started making money on Tuesday, and I was a millionaire in 6 months. Okay, maybe every blue moon there's an outlier like that, but in reality, for most people, and I say most, I mean probably 99.9% of the people, it was years, right? It was years learning your craft. It was years learning your skills. It was years figuring out, what you want to do. It was years of putting that stuff together and trying it, making it work. It was years of doing it the wrong way, going into the wrong business, partnering with the wrong people, not having enough money, overcoming self-doubt, all those things to that 5-year mark. And then you start seeing the traction of success. And when I say success, I mean sustainable revenue and profits coming in your way based on the system that you built, right? And so why is that? I don't know. But how does it work? And why does it work? The reason it works is because you're taking that time to figure out, who you are, the system you need, how to build it, what works for your customer market, building your team, right? And then in those 5 years, you're also putting out stuff that lets people know what you stand for, what your business stands for, and you're proving that what you're offering really works, right? So by the end of those 5 years, you built a reputation for quality, right? So it's like Chick-fil-A doesn't have to prove to us the chicken sandwich that they offer is good. They don't. They built that in, and so their reputation, precedes itself. So like when Popeyes was going at Chick-fil-A over the chicken sandwich, yeah, they made a name for themselves, but we still buy chicken sandwiches from Chick-fil-A, right? And so the same thing is going to be for you, right? So, but let me give you a personal example. So I fired corporate America in November 4th, 2011. And then I launched into entrepreneurship November 7th, 2011. But it wasn't until like November 12th that I really started moving. And I was in a completely different area and industry, right? You know my story. It's failure after failure after failure after failure. And then I birthed out SIF, and then put in a system in place, and then hyper-focusing on the thing that I was good at and what I could offer. And then by 2017, we had made our first $1 million. 2012, 2017, 5 years. Now, this is coming from a first-generation entrepreneur, right? So if your legacy, like your granddad, grandmom, aunt, whatever, they were entrepreneurs, your parents were entrepreneurs, and you have, capital at your disposal, then, it may be shorter. But if you're a regular person like me, first generation, right, and you're changing the paradigm of the direction of your family line, then 5 years. Now, I'm saying this to you because I don't want you to get discouraged, right? Because you're starting small. I mean, in the Bible it says, despise not small beginnings. And even if you're not Christian, this principle is true. Don't despise the small beginnings of your work. If you keep working at it, it'll be successful. And now that you know that it's going to take 5 years, you can have peace, right? So instead of saying, 12 months from now, we're going to be ultra successful, you say 12 months from now, I want to hit certain milestones, right? And then, it kind of builds into the thing that you were designed to make, right? There was no way for me to make Grenada Nut Company without Danette, right? She was the one that's from Grenada. She was the one that put the oil on my knees. She was the one that I knew, and she believed in it, someone who was not entrepreneurial, that we had something. There was no way for me to build Grenada Nut Company to where it is right now without Chris. He's the computer programmer, he's the computer scientist, and he needed the experience of his past job to learn what he needed to do to build this out. But none of those were available 3 years ago, right? And so I had to take the step first. And then as I was walking this journey, the people came, right? Then we stumbled across Olivia, Creatively Olivia, who was building our website. We stumbled across Calvin, who built the original website and gave us the original marketing plan. Like, all these things start happening as I started walking the journey, not, hyper-focus on the immediate success of the business, but building something that's amazing with the goal of it outlasting me and relieving everybody of their pain. You see that? Right? So if I sit here and I'm focused every day on a dollar amount, then the business would implode, or I would get disappointed so often that I would probably just walk away from it. And so that's the whole lesson. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to understand that success does not happen overnight, but at some point with consistent effort, success will come, right? And everybody's going to say that you're an overnight success. That's what we do to people who, when we realize who they are, we assume that it happened overnight, and we assume that they didn't put in as much work. But but you now know that's not the case. I need you to accept the fact that your business, your calling, your purpose is going to take time, right? And that's no reflection on you, so don't be disappointed. As a matter of fact, it is saving you, because if you don't have the foundation right and you get success too fast, you will be crushed under the weight of that, okay? So have peace in knowing that what you're doing, what you're believing in, if it's truly serving people and you're truly doing it at a good cost, providing real value, that your success is on its way. It's just some more things that you need to get under your belt, okay? That's it for today. If you have any questions, as always, reach out to me, and I'm always here. See you next time.